Hi everyone and welcome at your guitar workshop. My name is Andre and at the moment I'm super excited because this lesson we're going to be doing the first solo in Gravity. Of course we have to cover the chorus first, so that's what we'll get into first. Then we'll get into the solo and there's so much good stuff in there. Before we get into it, I'm going to be playing the example for you first. Secondly, if you need the tab for this, it's available on my Patreon page. And thirdly, I wish to thank all of my patrons for their support. Right now, we're at over 60, which is amazing. It's just mind-blowing, and it helps a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so let me play the example for you, and let's get right into it. Here we go. So how do you play that? So we'll start with the chorus section first, obviously. Let me play the first 4 bars of that chorus, and then we'll get into how to play those on the guitar. Here we go. All right, so what do you do? So we start off with that G chord. On the first beat, you just basically rake it. Then on the 4th beat, because this is a 6/8 measure, you just play the top part of that chord again. So you got 2, 3. And then you're just playing sort of double stops, which are just parts of that same chord. And what do you do? So you start to play D and G together, then G and B. Then you put your ring finger in 5th position of G string, and then you play G and B. Remove that ring finger and play the same G and B, so like this. Then you put your ring finger back in 5th of D string. You play that D and G. Then you play just B. And then you put your ring finger on 5th of G again. And you play G, B, and E. Then you remove that and you play G and B. And then you just put your ring finger back on D in 5th and you just play that. Right? So those 2 bars together. 1, 2, 3. Now, a quick tip, and I probably should have given this at the start of the series, but when I say play G and B or play, it's just, I wouldn't take it too literally, right? So you can, but you don't have to. So basically what I'm hearing is just, right? That melody, and then you have some, I don't know, it's just going up and down the chord. So don't try to hang on to it too tightly, because a good thing to do is to just sort of improvise it. But if I would do that in this video, you know what would happen? The trolls would come out and they were like, that's not how he played it. That's not what John Mayer did. I love trolls. I love them. Anyway, so the next two bars go like this. So what you got here is a C major chord, right? So if you think of the Cage system, that would be C in the G form. And then you have your ring finger on the third, and you put your ring finger on 7 of A. Pointer finger is on 5th of D, G, and B. And you sort of just strum the first three notes. And then you play A string. Then you put your pinky on 8th of B. And you play that. And you just arpeggiate down the strings to G and D. So like this. And then you put your pinky in 7. You do the same thing. Now you remove your pinky. You do it once more. And that's it. It's like this. The first 4 bars together. 1, 2, 3. Then, in the next 4 bars, those go like this. So this is about the same chords, but played a little different. So starts off with that G chord again, just raked the top 4 strings. Then you play 6th intervals. Now, I think I have a video on 6th intervals and how I think John Mayer uses them. Anyway, should be a very interesting one for you to check out if you like this kind of sound. So what you do is you put your pinky and ring finger on 5th of E and G. And from there, you slide up to 7th. Then you play it again, and then you slide back down to 5th. And then you play 4th and 3rd position of G and E, like this. But when I do that, in that last chord is actually basically already the top part of your G chord, because this is sort of transitioning into your G chord. Then I put pinky and ring finger in 5th of B and G, pull off, and then it's like this. And then I play that G and B once more, and then make a hammer-on in 5th with my ring finger. And then I remove it and play G and B once more, like this. So. And then you just sort of arpeggiate the chords. So there you play, so you put your ring finger back on 5th of D, and then you play D and G. Then G and B, and then put your ring finger in 5th of G, and you play G, B, and E. Remove that ring finger, put it back on 5th of D, and play D and G again, like that. So those 2 bars, 1, 2, 3. Then you go to the next bar, which goes like this. Now what you do there is almost the same as the two bars, the other two bars of the first four bars of the chorus. And that is that you have that C chord with E in the bass. And you just play those bottom three notes. Then on beat 3, you play that bass once again, that E. And then you rake D, G, and B. Have your pinky an eighth on that B string. Right? Like that. So you got. Then you pick G, D. Then you pick that A string again. And then the rest is just the same as before, right? So those 4 bars. 1, 2, 3. The next section is something that we covered in a previous video, so that would be that A minor 7 with E in the bass. And now we come to a part where it's just a little bit different. So you play that E flat major 7. And you start from the bottom. Right, so if your middle finger in 6 of A, pointer finger in 5 of D, and pinky in 7 of G. And you just arpeggiate that. And then you play A, D, and then you go to D7 again. And you play A, D, G, D, B, like that. And then we go into the solo. And hang on a second because I have to check my light. Because my light is acting up. I don't like that. So now for the exciting stuff, which is the solo. Let me play the first couple of bars first, and then we'll get into how to play that on the guitar. All right, so the first thing that you do, at least I think that's how he plays it, is he plays a pre-bend, have a semitone pre-bend in 12th position on the B string with his pointer finger, and then just 12 as it should be played normally. Then 12 on D string, and then ring finger plays 14 on G twice. So like this. Then you get a semitone bend and release on 12. Then a pre-bend, I think it's sort of a semitone on 14th of G string with your ring finger. And that's pre-bend release. Pull off to 12 pointer finger on that G. And then play it once more. So like this. Then from 11 on that G, with your pointer finger, you slide to 12. And then play middle finger 13 of B to 14 ring finger on D. So. Then you get this lick that walks up in this position. And I believe it's done like this. So what do you do with middle finger? You play 14 on A, hammer on ring finger in 15, play 12 pointer finger on D, hammer on ring finger 14, pointer finger 11 on G, slide up to 12 like this, and then you play 12 on B with your pointer finger, middle finger 13, ring finger 14 of E, And then you have that lick going up. Then you get a full tone bend on 12. Release, pull off to 12, point your finger on that B string. And then play 15 with your ring finger twice. Like this. And then pull off to 12. Then you play that bend to release, pull off to 12, and back to 15 one more time. And then you got this thing. So what do you do there? You play 15th position B string with your ring finger, a full tone bend. Then you play just 15, 13 with your pointer finger, and then you do a bend and release, full tone bend, release, 14th position of G. Pull off to 12, pointer finger, and then 13 middle finger on B, like this. And then you get this. So you have your ring finger on 14 of G, you play it, pull off, and then play 14 twice. Then play 12 on G again, hammer on to 14 with your ring finger, and then play that 14 twice on D. Okay, so let me play what we've got so far. So we got then we get the following part. So what do? You start with pointer finger on 12 of B, then 13, then ring finger 15, and then you move to 17 and you make a full tone bend. Release, and then you play 15 twice, and that middle finger plays 16 on G. It's like this. Then you play on the G 16 to 17, then 15B, and then that same full tone bend. Release to 15 twice on B. So in total, then you get the following part. So what do? You play 15 on B with your pointer finger to ring finger 17. Then you make a full tone bend. And then you just add your pinky alongside it. Like this. Then you make that full tone bend again on 17. And then you just play 17. Like this. Then you play a double stop, which is 15 on B with your middle finger and 14 on G with your pointer finger. And you play those. And at the same time, you make a hammer on with your ring finger in 16 of G. Then you play that new sort of double stop once more. And then make a pull off with that ring finger. And then you play 17 with ring finger on the D string, like this. Then you play 14 to 16 on G to 14 on D. So you got. All right, so now comes what sort of was the trickiest thing for me, in a way, and that is that, let's see. something like that. It's tricky because it's a lot of double stops, and I only just transcribed this part before recording this, which makes it harder for me to sort of play it from memory. So what do? So you have that double stop with middle finger on 15 on B and pointer finger on 14 of G, and those two basically stay there the whole time. Then you do hybrid picking, which means that you pick B and G in this case with your middle finger and ring finger, and then you use your pick for the D string. So, and you alternate. So it's fingers pick. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's the first part of it. Then in the next bar, you get this. So I hybrid pick, hammer on, ring finger 17, pull off, and then put my ring finger in 16 of G and hybrid pick that. Then immediately I put my ring finger on 17 of D, and that's where I start. So I pick that with my pick. Right? So you got. Then I repeat. But now what I do is instead of going directly to the 17th position with my ring finger, I remove my ring finger, and that's where I start with the hybrid pick this time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I do that once more. And then you get the, which is pointer finger in 16 of that G where it actually already was. So you play that, and then make a hammer on with your ring finger in 16. Play that 16. Then 14, hammer on, pull off. And then 17, in this case I use pinky on D, and then I play that double stop. So, and then you get this. So I play another double stop, so that's pointer finger in 15 of E and ring finger in 17 of B. And then I play that previous double stop with 15 and 14 and play it. I make a hammer on with my ring finger in 16 of G, keep it there, and then play that as a double stop and make a pull off. And then put my pinky on 17. It's like this. Then I play that 15 and 17 once more. Then I play 14 and 15 with that hammer on 16. Play that as a double stop. I'm going to pull off. And then 17. It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 1. And then I already have my middle finger on 15 of B and pointer finger in 14 of G. And I add my ring finger in 17 of G. And I play. So I play this as a double stop. Then I slide my ring finger to 16. Play that as a double stop. Then I remove it, play that as a double stop. Hammer on, pull off, and then ring finger 17, like this. Then I play 14, 17, put my ring finger back on 17 of G, play the double stop, and then 16, and play that as a double stop. I know it's very confusing probably with all the numbers and such. The tab is on my Patreon page. That probably makes it a lot easier. But anyway, so this is what it should sound like. So 1, 2, 3. And then you go to this part again. All right, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I will be working on the rest of this stuff in the coming week. Wishing you all a great week or weekend, and hope to see you again sometime.